You're listening to the Marketing Funnel Show, episode number 55. Building an email list is one of the best ways to turn your leads from cold to hot. But just because someone signs up doesn't automatically mean they're going to buy. In this episode of the Marketing Funnel Show, I'm looking at 3 costly mistakes when building your email list and how you can avoid them. Welcome to the Marketing Funnel Show. I'm your host, Michelle Evans, and this is the podcast for coaches, experts, and online business owners to learn how to go from simply surviving to sold out using the power of marketing funnels. All right, let's jump into today's show. Well, hello there, and welcome back to another episode of the Marketing Funnel Show. You know what? Today, I'm going to be sharing some real truth with you. But before we get into today's episode, I just want to say thank you to all of you who have jumped into iTunes and, taken just a couple minutes to leave a rating and review. I so appreciate it. We're over 70 reviews now, and I cannot tell you how much I appreciate each and every one of you doing that. Because you know what it tells Apple Podcasts? It tells them that people are actually listening to this, right? It tells them that people find this valuable, which means that more people can find the show, more people can get these insights. So thank you. And also, I just want to say thank you to those of you who, email me or message me on social media. I just love hearing from you about, extra questions you have about what I cover in episodes, about how you've used it in your own business. It's just awesome to hear that feedback. So if you have anything that you want to share, you can reach me, Michelle at michellelevans.com, or you can go to one of my social platforms and message me as well. I will say I'm not very good on Instagram professionally. I have it kind of locked down for personal stuff, but I don't do a lot of stuff professionally there. So if you message me there, it might be a little slower, but on Facebook or Twitter or somewhere else, you'll probably find me. All right, so let's jump into today because you know what? Oh, building an email list. I tell ya, if you have ever looked at building an email list, hopefully you have. If you've been in business, for longer than, a month, you've probably heard someone say something like this. The money is in your email list. So focus on growing a big email list and you, my friend, you will be set. Now, calling that, I don't know, what would we call it? But calling it a lie might be a little bit strong. But I'm definitely going to call it a half-truth because there are several mistakes you make when building your email list that can really make it totally ineffective, no matter how big it is. And look, you and I know that to be successful in business, in, growing an audience and all of that stuff, we need to have a few key things. Thing number 1, a product, a program, a service, something to sell, right? If you don't have something to sell, that is probably the number 1 thing you need to focus on is how the heck do I get something that, to sell? Otherwise, you don't have a business because people can't buy anything from you. Okay, thing number 2, a way for people to buy that product, program, or service, right? You need to have, at the very minimum, like a PayPal link where people can actually give you money or, a mailing address so they can send you a check. And then number 3, an audience who wants to buy that product, program, or service. And that's where it can get a little trickier, right? Because especially when you're trying to create something brand new, you're like, I don't know where this audience is. I don't know what's going on. But you really need to have those 3 things to have a growing, successful business. That's business 101. You need to sell something that people want to buy and get that something in front of them. That's where this well-intentioned advice to build an email list starts. You want an email list of people who want to buy your product, program, or service so that you don't constantly have to go out and find new people, right? The problem with that is that too many people just focus on what's a great opt-in that's going to, bring email names into my list fast. They focus on getting as many subscribers as possible without thinking about what happens after somebody joins. And friends, if you could see me right now, I have both my hands in the air because this is me. Like, I've done this. And getting somebody who's joined your email list to go from stranger to an eager buyer certainly does not happen by them just downloading your latest freebie, no matter how gorgeous and fabulous it is. It takes a whole lot more than a stellar freebie to get people committed to buy something from you, especially if it's a big offer, right? And so there's this whole build it and they will come idea. And back in 2013, and I've shared this story before, but I share it over and over and over again because I want you to know that I have struggled with this list building thing too, right? And I try to share some of my biggest struggle moments so that you can go, either, oh, good, I'm not the only one who's done that, or thank you for telling me so I don't have to make that mistake, right? So back in 2013, I bought into this advice. I set out to build a really big email list really, really fast. And I pitched myself to a bunch of big name blogs out there as a guest blogger. Guest blogging was really big back then. It doesn't seem like that long ago to say 2013, but in internet years, that was like a lifetime ago. And the first big name blog that came back and said yes was Brazen Careerist. I wrote a blog post that did pretty well. And within a couple of weeks, around 4,000 people had downloaded my freebie. And now if you're like putting up a picture of me and throwing darts at my face saying, oh, good for you, I just want you to hold on, okay? Like, you can throw darts, but hold on and don't get jealous yet. Because of course I was thinking, yes, my email list is growing super fast. Clearly people wanted what I was offering. Like, my business is going to be taking off fast, right? But that wasn't the case. Even though people seemingly flocked to my freebie. And I now had that coveted audience boom that people were always talking about and bragging about and saying, like, this is the thing that's going to make you money. This is the thing that's going to make you successful. Something was off, and I knew it fast. So first of all, a lot of people who opted in, they unsubscribed immediately. They got my freebie and they ran. Ugh, right? That's just like, it's so frustrating when that happens. The second thing is that a majority of the people actually did stick around on my email list, but they never again opened another email from me. And I was just like, what in the heck? Like, what is going on here? And the rest, who maybe opened a few emails from me or whatever, after a while, they just forgot who I was. And they would ask, like, why are you emailing me? And they report me as spam. And I'm like, no, you opted in. And it was 100% my fault that these people joined my email list only to ignore me and, report me or whatever. But I didn't realize it at the time. And here's the hard lesson that I discovered. A big email list is totally useless if the people on it don't remember why they wanted to get emails from you in the first place. Like, it's useless. It's just a lot of names. And that lesson is what makes me want to save other people from that frustration. All the time, all the money, all the effort that my ignorance cost me, because it really did. I talk about the time and money and effort, but even more than that, it was like the energetic drain on me was big. And it was all because of my own ignorance at the time. And I want to save you from that so that you can build a thriving email list that not only wants to hear from you, but they also want to buy from you too. And here are 3 costly mistakes that you've got to avoid when building your email list. And again, how you can avoid them. So mistake number 1, I call it the gift card effect. Want to know how to get loads of people onto your email list really, really quickly? Run a contest and give a prize that literally anyone with a pulse will want. Like giving away a $1,000 Amazon gift card, or even like a $50 gift card, right? You don't even have to be at $1,000. But if you were at $1,000, I guarantee you'd have a swarm of people signing up. And your email list numbers would surge through the roof really fast. Want to know what else? 99.9% of those people, maybe even like 99.99999% of those people only want you for one thing. They are using you to get that gift card, right? They're signing up for that contest, and that is all they care about. These same people will then ignore you. They'll ignore your business. They'll ignore your offer, and they'll report you as a spammer. I know. We can all smile. We can nod our heads. We can pat ourselves on the back and say, duh, anyone could have known that. And I would never be so dumb as to just offer a gift card for my business. Of course, all they wanted was to win that prize, right? Okay. But the gift card effect also happens when your freebie, when my freebie, when we offer something that's too general. If our freebie doesn't set the stage for the offer we want to eventually sell to our audience, it's a bad giveaway, even if it works. This is the big part of my own mistake, with the Brazen Careerist freebie. So the freebie that I offered was called 5 LinkedIn Hacks That Rock, Even If You're Not Looking for a Job. Pretty compelling title, right? Literally any adult on the planet with a LinkedIn profile could put that freebie to use. And 4,000 Brazen Careerist readers signed up to get those rockin' headline hacks. Were those people who had their own businesses or even wanted to have their own business? No. Were those people who signed up on my email list from Brazen Careerist, were they people who were interested in hearing about marketing and growing their business? No, not even a tiny bit. Were these people who would eventually want to buy marketing services from me for their business? No, never. They wanted LinkedIn profile headline hacks to stand out, period, right? So they opted in to get that freebie, and then they wondered why the heck I was talking about marketing and growing a business. They're like, what? Why are you talking to me about this? It was the wrong audience combined with a generic opt-in, so it just created this huge disconnect. And looking back, it's so easy to see what went wrong when I break it down, and I have the benefit of not being in the hustle mode at the time. And I know now that it's a very common list building mistake. I've seen so many people make similar mistakes because we're going after getting kind of like that high of people wanting our giveaway, right? But the bottom line is you shouldn't focus on attracting anyone with a pulse to your email list. Focus on attracting the right audience and then grow from there. It's so much easier than attracting all these people who are like, who are you? Spammer, 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 right? You just don't want that. It is just really, really awful feeling. Just trust me on that if you haven't had it happen to you. All right, so to help you with this, I have put together a brand new cheat sheet, how to create a profitable list building funnel so that you can attract, engage, and convert the right audience with proven non-sleazy strategies. And you can grab that free cheat sheet at today's show notes, which you can find at themarketingfunnelshow.com/55, or whatever podcasting app you're listening to this in. You can probably just click on it there too. All right, so let's get into mistake number 2. So mistake number 2 is the what's next cliff. So what happens when someone subscribes to your email list? Let me guess. They opt in, they go to the thank you page, you tell them, hey, go check your email, and then they go to their inbox, never to be seen again, right? Or seldom to be seen again, I guess. If that sounds familiar, you, my friend, are not alone. Most online businesses do the exact same thing. And what's even worse is that most online marketers teach you that strategy to get your audience trained to open your email. Which sounds great in theory, but you know what? It's a really, really big mistake. I call it the what's next cliff. Imagine this. You've got a new subscriber at your virtual doorstep. They're raising their hand saying, hey, I'm kind of interested in this topic. I want to learn more. But all you've been taught to say is, hey, nothing to see here. Go check your email. You might as well be dropping them off a cliff because the second they dive into their inbox, they're lost. They're lost in that email pit, right? You know what your own inbox is like. You get, coupons from stores that you buy from. You have whatever, all random emails, news alerts, who knows what's going to pop up there. Once that inbox is open, they're going to forget all about that conversation they wanted to have with you. That email will distract, disengage, and redirect their attention to something completely different. I did this exact same thing with that Brazen Careerist freebie. People were coming to me saying, hey, tell me more about standing out on LinkedIn. And all I said was, can't talk, go check your email. What a conversation stopper, huh? I might as well just have been slamming the door in their face. It would have been so easy to keep that conversation going with a question, a resource like a blog post, or even a teensy tiny offer so that people who were ready to move forward could, take that next step. Like, what if I had, I don't know, a list of 50 different headlines that people could select from, or who knows? I could have come up with a tiny little offer that would have been super easy to put together and would have engaged people further. Or I could have had a great blog post for them to go read. Or I could have had, a video of me talking about why standing out on LinkedIn is good, or just anything to keep that conversation going. Instead, I slammed that virtual door in their face by sending them to their inbox pit where they were basically lost forever. And this one act, just this one act of keeping that conversation going would have made all the difference in people seeing me as a person they wanted to learn from versus just another huckster on the internet streets trading freebies for emails. So don't make this mistake. Keep your virtual door open. Invite your new subscribers to continue the conversation so that they see you as the expert they need. I mean, think about it. When you're at Costco or the grocery store or a farmer's market or anywhere where they're giving out free samples, right? They're giving you free samples because they want to invite you to purchase that product, right? Can you imagine if they gave you a free sample and then turned their back on you and they're like, bye. Like, figure it out. No, what do they do? The farmers markets around us are closed right now. But, when they're open in the summer and early fall, it's like, they give you these free, whatever, like a free donut or a free ice cream or free yogurt or cheese or whatever they're selling. And then they're like, guess what? We have this on special right now. Would you like to buy some and take some home? Like, that's the whole purpose of a freebie. Think about your online business the same way as you would if you were engaging in person with people, right? You want to keep that conversation going. You want to have a way for them to either get more information, sign up for, be notified, talk with you more about whatever it is that you're selling, and just think about it. Like, if you were selling cheese, for example, at a farmer's market, you wouldn't give away cheese and then just like turn your back on people and send them on their merry way. You would say, what kind of cheese do you like? Do you like, hard cheese, soft cheese? Like, who knows? I don't know why cheese is on my mind today, but there was a really great cheese company that was at the last farmer's market I went to, and they were so fabulous. They had this beautiful spread and they were really engaging, and I bought way too much cheese that I really didn't need, but it was so good and I had such a great conversation with them. And then, we had to have a party to get people to eat it. But that's what I'm saying with your freebie. Like, how can you keep that virtual door open? How can you keep that conversation going so that you're not just like slamming the door in their face, like handing them the freebie, slamming the door in their face and saying, go check your email. Try not to do that if you can. So again, I've put together a great cheat sheet for you. You can get the cheat sheet. It's called Create a Profitable List Building Funnel to Attract, Engage, and Convert the Right Audience with Proven Non-Sleazy Strategies. You can get that at today's show notes. Super easy. Just go to themarketingfunnelshow.com/55. All right, let's move on to the last mistake I'm going to cover today. This isn't the only 3 mistakes, but these were the big 3 that I made and then I've seen over and over and over again. And mistake number, let me just recap real quick because we've talked about a lot of stuff. So mistake number 1 was the gift card effect. Remember, we don't want to be so generic that anybody with a pulse wants it. Mistake number 2 was the what's next cliff, where you're basically slamming the door in their virtual face. So mistake number 3, and again, if you've made any of these mistakes, you are not alone. I've done them too. And I've seen many, many, many people do them as well. So mistake number 3 is random acts of email. I have lost count of how many times I've heard someone say they don't want to, quote unquote, bother their subscribers with too many emails. In my experience, what they're really saying is that they don't know what to say to keep their audience engaged in the conversation. They don't know how to take the email lead. Then, because they don't know how to create an email journey to educate, engage, and enthrall their audience with stories, examples, aha moments, proof, all sorts of stuff, their email series just becomes this hodgepodge of random acts of email. And random acts of email do not engage, educate, or enthrall anyone. That's why it's so important to have a freebie that solves a really specific problem for your audience, because then you know exactly what email conversation you want to have with them, right? And when I say email, please just keep in mind, I don't only mean written email. Like if you create a baby email with a video, fabulous. If you do audio, fabulous. If you, however you want to do your email series, email is the glue that holds your entire marketing funnel together, that keeps the engagement with your audience. But don't think that you just have to write long emails. There's lots of ways to do email. But what you want to do is know what conversation you want to have with them. And think about this for yourself. When you have a problem, what do? You probably Google it, right? Or maybe go on Facebook and ask friends for recommendations. But for the most part, we're going to be out there Googling for information. I mean, just last month, my cat, and we love our cat, she's very old, she peed on a leather chair we have in our living room, which, of course, is incredibly annoying. And I tried all the normal stuff to clean it, but it wasn't working. So what did I do? Well, I pulled out my phone and I hopped on Google to see if I could find some hacks for getting rid of the smell quickly. And I found a ton of options. I ended up buying a few to test them out, and thankfully I found a winner. Phew, because it was not good. And that's a super simple example for a pretty low cost purchase. I think each of the things that I bought was between like $8 and $19, so it wasn't very much. So let's switch this up and think about it for your audience. What's their cat pee moment that gets them to jump on Google and search for an answer like right now? And what are they Googling for? This is so key to having a successful online business. What's the problem that you're solving for your audience? What's the way that you can open that door? And I have to say, I Googled how to get rid of cat pee on leather furniture. And then I started getting all of these great ads on Facebook and just around, the internet when they start following you all around. And there was one company in particular that really stood out. And I'm not affiliated. I'm not going to give them an endorsement, but I loved their videos. I really loved their videos. Like I saved some of their ads because they were so awesome and they spoke directly to the pain I had. And I was like, you know what? Next time this happened, because our cat's very, very old, I'm sure it'll happen again. Next time, I want to go watch this video before I dive into cleaning because it'll put me in a good mood and make me laugh. And that's actually what people are wanting. Maybe not the laughing part, but they want you to connect to their problem. They want to know that you get them, that you understand them. And what's been found by researchers across tons of different types of businesses are that 70% of online buyers are really buying to solve a specific problem. And this should tell you that it's mission critical that you know the problems your audience has and that you speak to those problems if you want to get a shot at getting people to buy from you. And here's the biggie. 95% of online buyers Buy from the business that offers relevant content at every stage of their buying journey. That's that cat pee video company. They were offering me like great insights about how to keep your cat from peeing on your furniture, about what to do, if the cat peed while you were away on vacation. I'm like, oh my gosh, are they spying on me? Like, these are all things that happen, right? And it's been proven with tons of statistics from tons of businesses across the internet that 95% of online buyers buy from the business that offers relevant content at every stage of their buying journey. And when you think about getting an email, somebody on your email list, like, it's not just about how many people do I have on the email list, but how many people are you taking through this journey? How many people are you showing really relevant content to, so they're like, oh my gosh, that's exactly something that I struggle with, or something that I've struggled with in the past, or whatever. And that's me. I mean, I ended up buying the products on Amazon, so I didn't have to give anybody my email address. But this company, they did such a good job in advertising to me that I went and got on their email list because it was funny. And they were showing me that they totally got, what's going on with me. And they have other things that I can buy from them. And I'm probably going to become a great customer of theirs. Well, I already have become a great customer of theirs, but I'll buy even more stuff from them simply because they showed me that they really understood that this was more than just buying a spray bottle of cleaner, right? This was about being a cat mom and dealing with a cat that's not acting how I want that cat to act, right? And they had some funny memes, they had some great tips, lots of great stuff, right? And this statistic is exactly, in this scenario, is exactly why you need a strategic marketing funnel. Because then you stop doing random acts of email that just lead your audience to ignore you. Like, if this company was just putting, hey, get 20% off, like the bottle that I bought, I think was $11. I don't really care about 20% off on that. But showing me that you understand what it's like to be a cat mom of an aging cat that's peeing on your furniture, that leads me to engage with them a lot more. And I want you to think about that for your own audience. How can you be in front of them, sharing stories, engaging with them, showing them that you totally get the journey that they're on, so that they want to engage with you. If you're just doing the same old stuff, it's so easy to ignore you. So instead, I want you to start having, I call them strategic conversations, but it's really just like human to human conversations with your audience about the problem they want to solve, about their cat pee problem. Like, just ask yourself, what's my audience's cat pee problem? And not only will you attract more buyers, but you'll also create a really engaged audience who knows exactly why they want to buy from you. So now that you know these 3 costly mistakes when building your email list, again, I've created a detailed free cheat sheet to help you make a profitable list building funnel that will attract, engage, and convert the right audience for you with proven non-sleazy strategies. I don't want you to make the same costly, frustrating, and honestly, business-killing mistakes. And when I say business-killing, it's not just because they cost a lot of money, but man, that energy drain can really bring you down, right? I don't want you to make those same mistakes that I made. Instead, discover how to create a simple funnel that will help you build an email list of the right people who know why they want to buy from you. I've been building marketing funnels for years now, and one of my biggest mistakes was not understanding that I needed to set the stage before ever having a shot at starting a sales conversation with my audience. So don't be me, my friend. Click in, go to themarketingfunnelshow.com/55, just the number 55, and click to get the cheat sheet. You will love it. It's so easy to just think about how, to move forward with creating an experience for your audience so that they're like, I know why I want to buy from you. I know why I want this offer, and I know why I can't wait any longer to buy it. All right. I look forward to seeing you next week on another episode of the Marketing Funnel Show. We'll talk then.